Saturday, October 29th.
After football, my son wanted to hunt the other property that we normally hunt in Glenville, Pennsylvania, but because of the time that we had to get to the woods after football and knowing I would have to get ready to get on a plane next week to fly to Florida to see my grandma, I asked my son if I could take him to the same blind I had Coltman in the night before. Jason said he was fine with going to the blind his brother was in last night, so long as I would take him Friday afternoon after school if I could take off work and take him to where he wanted to hunt in Glenville. Shortly after sitting in the blind, my son looked at me and said, "Dad, we made the wrong decision. We should have went to Ed's, which is the property in Glenville." I told him to sit down and stay calm, and I told him what I told his brother last night, that you never know what might happen. Shortly after this, I got a photo on my Reveal cell cam app of a buck down by the stand over the hump in the field that we could not see from the blind, and shortly thereafter a bunch of doe and this buck appeared 100 to 150 yards out in the field. We still had about 90 minutes left until dark, and this buck would continue to run at these doe and the doe would scatter. As the evening wore on, the doe were gradually moving in our direction. With about 30 minutes left of light, this buck, a small 6-point and a spike buck, and some of the doe appeared over the field rise diagonals out of the left front of the blind, and it appeared that they were going to make their way into the field to our left. However, the spike and some doe continued in that direction while the 6-point and this larger buck and a group of doe worked their way from left to right towards the fence row. I watched this buck make or work a scrape along the fence row, and we had the smaller buck and some doe between us and them, still at 90 plus yards. As the sun began to set, these doe and the smaller buck began to work their way towards the blind, and this buck worked down the fence row in our general direction. As daylight was quickly fading, the 6-point buck worked its way in front of the blind, and I asked my son if he wanted to shoot that one or wait for the other buck, and he told me, Shortly thereafter, the 6-point passed in front and a doe came behind that, which left another doe and this buck in the distance.
Here comes the big one. Get ready. Here comes the little 6-point right in front of us. See him. The big one's still over there. I have to sit still. He's coming.
The buck began at a 45-degree angle from the fence row towards the front of the blind, and as he closed, I got Jason ready to make the shot. He was walking directly towards us, and I told Jason we have to wait until his angle turns so we can get a better shot.
I need you to get up here and get ready. Put that down. Just wait. He's got to turn.
The deer turned, and we had a better quartering shot, and I stopped the deer, and Jason executed a perfect shot on this deer.
Me.
You got it, buddy. He's a freaking toad. I love you, buddy. 2 nights in a row, you and your brother.
Hey, he's a toad.
We recovered a deer in less than 150 yards with a perfect heart shot. I still can't comprehend how 2 nights in a row from the same blind my sons were able to harvest these 2 bucks, both with a crossbow. These will definitely be hunts I will never forget, and thanks to Tactacam, I have it all on film. Thanks, Tactacam.